Hey, what's up, friends? Welcome back and welcome front. Today we're going to be going over this triple Magneous figure. Oh man, you can see the bits are already flying all over the places. We're going to go over this triple Magneous figure, and I'm going to talk about why this figure is pretty mid to low when it comes to being a build former. As a standalone figure, I'll just be super duper honest and blunt and say he is dope. He is awesome, both in the bot mode and in the the alt mode, and also the manufacturing quality and stuff. It's really, really good actually. But that doesn't take away from the fact that he is pretty garbage when it comes to being a build former, when it comes to this whole gimmick that we celebrate on the channel. And dude, they should have really just made this a little bit longer. There's so many things that I have to complain about this figure, but again, I'm just a big giant man child, and the purposes that I'm using him for are not necessarily what they designed this figure for. Like, this is for children who are like 8 years old and up, and I know they've simplified this process. Well, I can't say I know, but my gut is that they've simplified this process so that it is more approachable to children. But I think they're underestimating the imagination and the creativity and the capabilities that kids actually have. And so I actually think it's the wrong move to take a step backward and to simplify these things. The Junkions were already becoming somewhat simplified in that the torso, you couldn't really do anything with it. But this guy is even worse. And but anyway, so we're going to go over all of them. But first, let's just take a look at this guy. It took me a little bit to kind of like get him together like this. And yeah, for pictures, for the gram or for Twitter or for whatever, like, yeah, sure, he looks fine. When it comes to recording a YouTube short, yeah, he's going to be fine too. But like, man, getting him to stand like this, and I don't know, it's all sorts of disappointment, and I'm going to walk you through it pretty much right now. So he's very easy to build if you can't tell. This figure, like the arms and everything, like the arms are just almost one entire figure, just connected via this, and it's not even connected that securely. This thing is the top of the car, and it's all hollow, and I get it, cost saving and stuff like this, but man, they could have just really elongated this peg so that it can secure a little bit better, but way too shallow in my opinion. And I think they should have actually added a port and not just a peg over here so that this could be a little bit more like versatile. But right now, that's the only thing it can do. It can just like stick onto stuff. But yeah, this entire bit is, you can see that this is just the Armorizer, because the drawback on these figures is the fact that like you can't really do much with the torso, and that's the chief complaint that I have. Junkions, it was already starting to get bad, but these absolutely just take it to the next level of take it down. They drop it down another level. If you look at like the advertising, like the images that they had for the weaponizers, modulators, fossilizers, 100% of the buffalo, all of the bits are used. The torsos, the legs, the arms, everything is used. But no, not these, not these. And like, yeah, in this video, you're gonna see me, like, I'm gonna go over how to make this to some degree. And the most redeeming parts, I would say, or what I was gonna say, yeah, sorry, before I get ahead of myself, yes, I'm gonna teach you how to make this. But I'm also going to complain and gripe and stuff like that. And this is really going to be somewhat of a part 2 of a deep dive, or part 4 technically, of a deep dive on this particular figure. The most versatile parts that he has are the arms. And you can see down over here, these are 2 arms that are layered together. It does kind of have this cool little like toe thing that I was able to figure out. That looks all right. The arms are probably the most versatile bits on this figure, along with these tire coverings over here. And these tire coverings have 2 pegs, and so it'll allow you to like stack things vertically, which is what's happening over here on this leg right now. This one keeps popping off. But one of the worst things about this figure is that there are no ports vertically to cascade, to attach things. You could get something to attach on the side, but that means whatever is going underneath here has to be attached by this bit, and it has limited functionality. And yeah, there are removable points, like this entire shin comes off, but like, so what, dude? There's nothing. And this over here, this is a removable bit too. And look, you just have this like skeletal weird thing that is very proprietary when it comes to what it can and cannot connect to. Huge, huge, huge disappointment. Like, why didn't they just continue using the 5mm system? Like this entire bit over here, they could have just put a port and they could have made this just a peg. And then you can have like at least a peg like this that you can add on, similar to what we've been doing with detritus. But for some reason, they just made it into like these rectangular slots. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? And again, don't get me wrong, the manufacturing quality on this as a standalone figure is amazing. It's amazing. It's like, think about like cookies. Cookies are amazing, but when you try to use a cookies as a bread for a sandwich, it's going to suck, right? And so this as a cookie is great, but when you're trying to use it to build something to make a sandwich, it sucks. And then you might argue, well, it's not meant to be a sandwich. And you know what? That's a super fair argument. And so this, in terms of me complaining, is me complaining that it's not good for what I do, but for what it was designed to do, magnifique, wonderful. So, okay. So the way I had to work this leg is, you can see that there's all these hollow bits. And so one of these, and these are just the tire covering, and this is just a Magneous body in the middle. There's nothing special about it or anything like that. There's one tire covering that goes on over here. And the other tire covering is going to go on the bottom. And it's going to be used to connect this portion, this second half of the leg. And these are just two arms. As you can see, this is just one arm right over here. Just bent, like, that's it. Like, this is just one arm. And normally it would be like that. But we just have that flipped over. And that's bent in like so. I don't know, unless you have money, don't buy 3 of these. Don't go ham like you would perhaps on some of the Junkions and stuff. Just don't. It's really not worth it. And here's another arm over here, and we've connected it at the forearm. I believe that's how I did it. Yeah, the underside of the forearm, basically there's a peg, and you just attach that there, and then this little whatever this is, you attach that to the fist, and then you kind of have this fake foot and platform, and then you're going to attach that over there. And see, this is just all like, it connects, yes it does, but like, it's not like a solid connection. Like, you can see it's all like that, and it's very confounding, to be completely honest. Things don't sit flush, and I'm making do, you know, to the best of my capabilities. But oh, and this kind of, this fits back here. Yeah, and that's cool. Like, it looks solid. Like, if you were just to look at pictures, you wouldn't know any better. You wouldn't realize what a hot garbage mess this is. I'm just not a fan of these toys, to be very, very honest with you. And I've been repeating that in this video. I take that back. As a standalone figure, I'm a big fan. I like this a lot. I love the paint on it. I love the design. I like everything about this as a standalone figure. But as a build figure, extremely disappointed. Extremely disappointed. Over here for this arm, again, this is just a Magneous body, right? Like I said, there's not much you can do with this figure. You can't remove the thighs. You can't. Yeah, you can't do anything. This chunk just remains by itself, and yeah. And again, this over here, why couldn't they just have made these pegs 5mm pegs? Instead, it's this proprietary connection that you can only use for this bot. It's just really, really disappointing. I just don't understand why. Hold up for a second while I sip some coffee. Yeah, I started drinking coffee again. But I just don't understand why they went with all these like tabs and slots and rectangular connections versus a traditional 5mm. It's just really, really confounding, very confusing, and very annoying, to be completely honest. So we have that Magneous figure. We flipped it upside down. and we've plugged in this little axe thing, and that will connect natively here as part of its alt mode transformation. Then we just get one of the arms, and we're plugging it in there. And then we're going to get this tire, and the tire we are going to plug in. How do I do this? Huh? Oh, no. I had it plugged in here on the back. Like so. And you know what? I guess if you wanted, you can plug this down here. And that's a better secure connection. I guess you can do that. And then if you wanted, you can put that there and then throw this on the back. I mean, whatever, dude. You can do whatever you want. It still doesn't change the fact that it's going to be pretty crap. And then you just affix that right there. Yeah, it's a decent enough arm. I would say the arm is way better than the leg. The legs are a hot mess. It's just the way they have it connecting is just so garbage. Or the way I have it connecting. But again, it's all that I can do to make this connect. It's very sad. It's very sad and very confusing. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I think this sticks out a little bit too much. I prefer this, but it does connect better over here. So, but anyway, you could do whatever you want, right? You could do whatever you want. I do think the tires look a little bit better over here. You know what? Let me just try rearranging both of these, because these are the wrong set of tires. It's the opposite side. And so, you know what? I think I'm going to do another video where we're just doing raw comparisons of Magneous against Scraphook, and so that I can gripe and complain some more. And usually the videos where I complain, I don't know, they have better metrics. I think misery loves company, and people just like, what's the word? Commiserating. Like, people like commiserating together. And so maybe I'll do that. And I'll get that to connect right there. I'll get this to connect right over here. And I'll throw the arm somewhere back there. And then we'll get that to connect right over here. And of course the leg will pop off again because it's just connecting by one somewhat shallow 5mm peg and port connection. And then you got to make sure that this is angled properly so that there's enough clearance for this. Oh my Lord, Primus, take the wheel. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay, but still, man, like, you really got to do a lot to get it like this. It just doesn't naturally just come together like you would want it. You just can't, like, it would have been so much easier if there were just ports under the feet where you could, like, plug these things in. Like, why do you have to make it so difficult, Hasbro? Why do you do this to me? Why do you do this to me? And if the build formers continue to be released like this, it's like I'm not really going to have much to build with. And so generally, I've prided this channel as being a place where we create stuff. But if they are removing the creative potential from these toys, what can I really do, right? Either I'm going to have to start building my own parts or start dipping into, I don't know, other toy lines that potentially have 5 millis, go back in time and look for older toy lines that have 5 millis. But that's it. That's it. Triple Magneous, somewhat of a tutorial, but really me just kind of complaining. And oh, and I don't know if that looks better. But whatever. I appreciate you watching, y'all. I will talk to you very soon. And yeah, BBO, sorry, over and out. Bye-bye.